Well, it's that time again. Time to make a video. Uh, Dude, my ass is sore, not in a good way. um, I started going back to the gym a couple weeks ago, and the first machine I used, because everybody told me that it's a good machine to go onto for losing weight, was the exercise bike. And oh my god, the seat sucks. I don't know if it doesn't help that I'm already a bigger guy sitting on that seat or not, but dude, sitting is quite difficult right now. And half my job is driving. So being seated. Oh. I woke up this morning and it felt a little better. I think because I did a lot of stuff last night to try to sleep a little more comfortably. I was like, okay, it feels better. I sat down in my car and drove like a mile, and I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, it hurts. It hurts so much. And then, like, that little shift I just did there, painful, man. I don't think it's broken. I think I just am really, really bruised from that seat. I'm not going to use that bike again until I lose probably 100 pounds. It's not fun, dude. I went to see the Fifth Element re-release Phantom Events thing yesterday, and sitting in the theater chair, oh man. But you don't want to hear about my sore ass. Just be careful what you sit on. I feel like that episode of It's Always Sunny where Mac invents that exercise bike. It's supposed to help motivate you. Now that's the reason your ass should be sore. Anyway, the point of this video, it does have something to do with that, because I mentioned I've been going back to the gym. I've already kind of talked about some of my progression, stuff to make myself healthier and what have you. I just kind of wanted to talk a little more about it, how I feel about certain things, and share some tidbits I've been learning. So, one of the things I've been working on is just letting stuff go. I made a whole video on that one. But another thing I've been kind of working on is how I respond to things. Yeah, I know that can kind of go in the same vein of letting it go, but sometimes I can definitely respond to things in a not so healthy way. Like right now, I'm stuck behind a car in a semi, and the car is matching the semi speed, so I'm stuck behind these two vehicles. And the speed limit's 65, and the car's going 55. And it's like, am I supposed to get upset by this? I mean, yeah, I'm kind of upset. This is ridiculous. I mean, I'll be honest, you know, it's frustrating. But I also need to not, like, a lot of times what I'll end up doing is getting so frustrated by a situation that I'll start, like, flipping people off or honking at them. I get a little road ragey, you know, and that's something I've been working on too, is road rage. It's not a good thing. I don't get, like, that mad with it, but I can tend to, like, honk a lot at a situation that probably doesn't deserve honking, you know, because after a certain threshold of a situation that occurs, is it worth exerting the energy into it, right? So, car cuts you off on the highway, it's down about a mile out, and you pass that car. Is it worth honking or flipping them off? No. Is it worth flipping them off as soon as it happens? No, it's not worth it. And I had a friend tell me something about how I interact at work sometimes. It's like, just don't let that energy get to you. And it's really hard. It is really hard. Because, for one, I have specificities. I don't know the right word for it. Because if I say it's OCD, people are going to say it's not OCD, because you don't have OCD if you're not, like, severe about it. But there's, like, specificities that I have with certain things. Like, I have things laid out a certain way on purpose, because it helps me remember where things are, and I always know where to find it, etc. Well, I won't say where or when, but I had something that was being used for a few weeks now, and there was no issues with it, and then suddenly it's an issue, and I got attitude for it, and it's like, it kind of threw off my whole mood for the day, you know. It was hard not to let that get to me, because it hasn't been an issue, and this person that got on me for it has used this thing in the place it's in now, or was in, and it hasn't been an issue, and then suddenly it's an issue. And I didn't respond to it, because, you know, I'm trying to work on that whole, like, you can't, like, I had another friend who told me they're energy vampires, and while I'm not really into the whole, like, energy vampire ideas, I still like the concept of how people can kind of suck that energy out of you if you let them. And, so I had to just ignore this just rude way of saying you're supposed to not have that. Like, okay. I won't say too much about it, honestly, because I'm trying to protect the privacy of people, and there's other reasons I won't get into. I can't tell you specifics of it, but it ruined my mood pretty quickly. I was actually in a fairly decent mood. I wasn't in the greatest mood because I've been dealing with this ass pain. But it brought my mood down. And, you know, it goes to that video I made on letting things go. I need to just let it go, you know. It is what it is. It's happened now, right? There's nothing I can do about it. And that's part of what I got to remind myself when a situation like this arises, is what can I do about it? If I can't do anything about it, it's probably not worth putting the negative energy into it, right? If there's something I could do about it, then, you know, depending on what that thing is that I could do, then it might be different about how I react to it. But for the most part, a lot of the situations I encounter, I want to say probably a good 70% of what I encounter is just stuff I could let go. But it's hard. So, you know, we as humans, especially we male humans, have a tendency to not want to eat shit, or eat crow, or put our money where our mouth is, so to speak. In most cases, especially men, we don't want to admit when we're wrong. We don't want to be the lesser man. We want to be the bigger man, you know? We want to be the ones that come out on top. And that's a male trait, but it's a human trait too. It's not just a male trait. Men just tend to do it more. And if you're a man watching this and you don't agree with me, I guarantee you've been in a spot where you've said, I'm not going to accept responsibility for this, or I'm not going to apologize for this. I don't think I need to apologize for this. I've apologized for things in the last couple years that I'm honestly in no way, shape, or form guilty for, but it's just better to make other people feel better sometimes, you know? Like in relationships, there's things I've said that probably were completely true, but did it mean anything other than being true? Probably not. Sometimes it's not always good to be right, and you have to learn that. And us men tend to have a hard time learning that. It's just something we do for some reason, and that's something I'm working on. I don't want to always be right. In most cases that I've been in a position where I want to be right, it's pointless anyways. I think the only thing I've ever really been in a position for where being right mattered is like a life or death situation. I had a friend who we went boating with one day, and we were out on the Sacramento Lake, and his brother and I, we took some inner tubes out on the river, and we got caught in a current, and the current pulled us pretty hard, and there was like this big old tree in the middle of the water, and if we would have stayed on the inner tubes, we would have probably ran into this tree pretty hard or got caught up in it. It just wouldn't have been safe. So what we decided to do, well, he decided to paddle as hard as he could to the shore, and since he's in better shape than me, he made it to the shore. He did have to lose the inner tube, which it's better to lose the inner tube than his life, right? However, I'm a bigger guy. So paddling out of a current was a lot harder for me. I wasn't able to do it. I had to force myself to go into that tree. Fortunately, there was a limb on that tree that I could grab onto. And I'm going to tell the whole story just because I've already gone this far with it, but I want to get into the point of it too while I'm telling the story. But, so I'm on this tree limb, and the current's pushing pretty hard. I'm weaker because I'm bigger and I just didn't work out that much this time. And I kept trying to get my footing on the branch below me because I ducked my head underwater as best as I could, and I saw that there was a branch below me. I couldn't get my footing. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to have to be all upper arm strength, and that's where I'm the weakest. I'm trying. I just can't get my foot on there. So I take a deep breath and I put my head underwater as best as I can again. There's a dead fish on the branch, so that's why I couldn't get my footing. I kept kicking on this dead fish and slipping because of it. So now that I knew where it was, I kicked it off, finally got my footing. And I don't know how much time we were actually there. It felt like hours, but eventually we ended up getting rescued. Our friend had come to try to rescue us, but he had a smaller boat. What he tried to do is he tried to throw a rope to us to get us onto his boat. He was able to get his brother. He wasn't able to get me so much because he ended up losing the rope on the tree. So this is where I get into the point of what I was trying to say earlier. Things letting go and all that, and getting upset, and just how you react to things. So we finally both get rescued. A bigger boat had come through and helped me out of the tree. They weren't able to get close enough to the tree, so I kind of had to push myself off the tree, and I hit another branch in the tree as I was going down the stream, and it hurt like hell. It bruised my ribs pretty good. But I finally got rescued, and we're all chilling on the bay, and we're like, oh, thank God we're alive, blah, 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 And then we're all getting packed up, ready to go home. And our friend is like, I'm going to go back for the rope. Even though we're all safe, we're all finally out of the water, and we're all trying to be like, nah, dude, you don't need that rope. And he's like, yeah, it's a good rope. We're like, no, you don't need that rope. So we end up going back for the rope. I don't have much choice. Our other people don't have much choice because he's the pilot of the boat, right? So he's working and working, trying to get that boat, the rope. The boat's rocking a lot. We're all kind of a little freaked out. His brother and I are kind of dealing with some PTSD at this point. And we're like, dude, stop. It's just a rope. And I'm even like, dude, I'm the reason you lost the rope. I'm happy to buy you another rope if you give this up. Like, this is ridiculous, man. He's still trying to get the rope. To his credit, he finally gets the rope, but we're all pretty upset. We laughed about it years later. I kind of laughed at it more of like I think this is my friend. I don't want to tell him that I'm still incredibly frustrated at him for it. Like, I almost died, and he put me back in the same position pretty much where I almost died. Like, with no care to my bodily well-being or anything over a fucking rope. Like, that's one of the reasons I broke off the friendship eventually. There's a lot more to it. But that was one of the things I could not really get over. I just could not get over this instance where he put a rope above his family and me, you know? And I don't want to be like that, you know? I don't want to be that person that puts meaningless things over other people. See, I had to adjust in my seat. Barely adjusting in my seat hurts. And like I said, half my job is driving. Anyway, I don't remember what my original point was. I brought that up for some reason. But yeah, no. I know what I was trying to say. I just don't remember exactly what I was trying to say. That's the problem with going off on tangents, right? When you go off on a tangent, you tend to forget the meaning of what you were trying to state. I don't remember exactly why I brought up that story. Anyway, it is one of those things where I wish I could sit here and say that I could laugh about. But like I had mentioned, this was traumatic for me. Like, this is something that truly made me feel like I wasn't valuable to somebody that I thought was my friend, you know? And I only laughed at it because, like, before I realized how bad it was, I kind of laughed at it just as oh, this is my friend. Like, I want to laugh with my friend. And once I realized its severity, it started putting me on this mentality of, like, has this been done before? And I'm not stating who this friend is, where they live, or how close to me they live, or any of that, for privacy, but also because I don't want to talk too much shit about them, because they're a good person. They just, you know, we all make mistakes. But like when they had a fast car, they would speed a lot, and I mean a lot. And they had an electric car at one point to help with privacy. I won't state what kind of electric car. I know it's not really all that important, but like, I like going fast. But when I have somebody in my car, I drive a lot safer than when I don't. Because when I'm by myself, I take a little bit more risk. Because it's just me. I should be pretty safe in my car, but like, there's certain things I'm willing to do when it's just me. Like when I'm going around corners, if I don't go 45 and I go 50 instead, like, oh no. Like, it's more so the fact that I'm less safe when I'm by myself. But when I have somebody else in the car with me, I have their life in my hands, right? Like, their life is important to me if they're trusting me to drive them. So I'm not going to do the same things I would normally do on my own. Like, I'll press a button or two on my phone while I'm driving. If I have somebody in my car, I don't even look at my phone. I won't even look at the map system. I'll have them navigate for me. Like, there's just certain things I won't do. This person would do those things, and it would irritate me to no end. And I would constantly tell them that this bothers me. This is upsetting. I don't want to deal with this. Like, I don't want you going 130 miles on the highway. I know you have a fast car. It's cool. But when I'm your passenger, I have zero control over what happens. If you crash or you go into a ditch or anything, I have zero control over that. There's nothing I can do. So don't do that when I'm in your car. Don't be on your phone when I'm in your car. Like, treat me the same I'd want to treat you. And this would just constantly happen. Every time. He got 2 different fast cars, and in both cars he'd do the same thing. Another thing that would really incredibly upset me is when I'm hanging out with somebody, I don't want music blasting in the background so I can't hear them. And that would be something that they would do too. Whether or not we'd be in the car or in their house, I would have to kind of yell because, we'd have music in the background and, hey, how's it going? It'd be like that. And it was frustrating. Because I just want to chat and hang with my buddy. I'm not here to listen to your music. And on top of that, they played music that I don't like. And they knew I didn't like it. I don't know if they were trying to get me to do like a Keeping Up with the Joneses or something with this stuff. Like, oh, if I play this music loud enough, you're going to end up liking the music. Oh, if I go really fast in my car, you're going to want a fast car or something. Like, yeah, I'd love to have a fast car, but where am I going to drive a fast car? Legally, anyways. Like, yeah, I could go 100 miles an hour in my car, but why would I do that? Get a ticket, man. It's already bad enough sometimes when I go like a mile or two over, I can still get a ticket. But like all this stuff led me to just thinking about things. And it wasn't the catalyst where I started really getting into it was Trump. And I know a lot of people are going to say, like, you can't break off friendships because of politics. I can. You absolutely can break off friendships due to politics. When those politics go completely against how you feel and are as a person. I've lost people because of Trump. Trump personally threatens my life. Like, I've stayed pretty much in the closet because I don't know if I want to come out right now. And I know this video is kind of like saying, oh, I would come out if Trump was in office. I don't know, man. With the state of things right now, I might just have to be comfortable being a straight white man. Like, it's getting to the point now, too, where if you're not a straight white Christian man, you're in jeopardy. Because if you're not Christian, too, you're hated. Like, so this man threatens my very life in multiple ways, and I lost a friend to suicide because of that man. I put up with it for as long as I could because I'm like, deep down, I know this person, not Trump, the other person. I know this person's a good person. I've known them long enough that they have a good heart. They really do, and I still want to believe that. But I asked them about, this was back when Trump made those comments about Iran and genocide. Straight up said that he was willing to commit genocide on a race. Fucked up. Beyond fucked up. I don't care who it is. That is unacceptable. This motherfucker should have been impeached long ago, but long story short, I asked my friend, my ex-friend, how he felt about that comment. Because I've been turning a blind eye to a lot of his support because I tried to hold on to the fact that I think he's a good person. And I still think he's a good person. He's just blinded by something. But I asked him about that comment because it was important to me to know how he felt. Because I didn't agree with any of his support up until this point. But this was like that moment where I was already starting to reevaluate our friendship anyway. And he's like, I'm okay with the comment. And I said, you're serious? Yeah, they've been calling for our death for years. It's time finally said the same to them. I'm like, you realize that doesn't make us any better, right? Two wrongs don't make a right. It is not better that we said it over them saying it. And we talked about it a little bit. It was more so like him laughing at me that I would even fathom expressing that I'm upset by this, especially since Iran apparently wants to kill us. And it's like, have you read the history books, dude? Do you understand why Iran doesn't like us? I'd be pretty upset at us too. I wouldn't want to kill us, but I'd understand why Iran doesn't like us. We've constantly been shitting in their backyard. No fucking shit. They're upset at us. Does that justify their actions? No. But does it justify us also committing a genocide? No. So, more and more thoughts about how our friendship had been started flooding in after that conversation. And I couldn't do it anymore. It wasn't just the Trump thing that made me finally decide that I can't do this anymore. I got to thinking about how often we've been hanging out. The last few times he'd even been to my house over me having to come to his house. Like, I got to thinking about a lot of this stuff, a lot of things, and my own problems, and my enviousness too, and my jealousy. Because there was parts of him that I was envious and jealous about, sure. Like, he had his own home. He's like a few years younger than me, already has his own home. Meanwhile, I've been pushed out of house and home down into basically nothingness. Like, I'm grateful for it, don't get me wrong, but like, with this person, I obviously felt that envious and jealousness that I shouldn't feel, but I did. So I thought of all this stuff. I wrapped around it for hours and hours and hours trying to decide, is this valuable to me? Oh yeah, segue, the way I react to things. I can kind of come back to that and how I let things go. And I wanted to react in a very angry manner. I wanted to yell and scream and shout about how stupid I thought he was and blah, blah, blah. But, again, deep down, I think he's a good person. So I just kind of sent that message where it's like, look, I've mulled this over. I've thought about it. I've reevaluated how we are as friends. I've done a lot of soul searching if this is valuable to me, and I just can't do this anymore. I can't be friends with somebody that's completely ideologically different from me, and not in the sense of like we have differing political and social opinions and that's all. It's drastically different. He supports a genocidal maniac, somebody that's on par with modern day Hitler, definitely fascist, and I don't support that. I'm not a liberal, but I don't support anybody that supports hurting people, and Trump hurts people. I'm pro people. I don't like half the people I interact with on a daily basis. I still don't want anything to happen to them where it hurts them. Because that's just not how I am as a person. And I don't want to be like that as a person. Even if they're the worst of the worst, there are things we can do to help people. And I don't think it's that hard. I don't think it affects us that much as a society. We're just too complacent with things, and we're too brainwashed, and that's pretty much it. Just the way you gotta understand how something affects you. You gotta learn how to approach it. You gotta let things go. I went off on a tangent. I promise it all meant something to my original point. If even a couple people see and hear this and realize some things about people, great. Like, all I really want is people to, just, you don't have to react to everything negatively. You don't have to react to everything positively. Sometimes you just don't have to react. It's easier said than done. Again, trust me, it is really hard. Especially when you deal with people that are constant triggers. I'm in a toxic position to some degree, and I wish I could get out. But the job market and stuff is just hard. So I just have to learn to deal with it and respond better. I don't have to ever be perfect at something, as long as I can just let things go, not let them get to me. it'll help. But it's a lot of work, and it's really hard. And yeah.